The year 1939 marked a turning point in human history, the beginning of a global conflict that would forever alter the course of the 20th century, World War II. This devastating war, the deadliest in history, engulfed nearly every corner of the globe, pitting nation against nation in a struggle for power, ideology, and survival. From the bustling cities of Europe to the remote islands of the Pacific, millions of soldiers and civilians alike were caught in the throes of a war that would leave an indelible mark on the world. The seeds of this global conflict were sown in the aftermath of World War I, a war that had left Europe in ruins, both physically and economically. The Treaty of Versailles, intended to ensure lasting peace, instead sowed the seeds of resentment and instability. Germany, burdened by crippling war reparations and territorial losses, became fertile ground for extremist ideologies. As the 1930s progressed, a sense of unease settled over Europe. The global economic depression further exacerbated tensions, fueling the rise of nationalism, fascism, and militarism. In Germany, Adolf Hitler and his Nazi Party, fueled by a toxic mix of nationalism, anti-Semitism, and a thirst for revenge, rose to power, promising to restore German glory and overturn the perceived injustices of Versailles. In Asia, Imperial Japan, driven by its own expansionist ambitions, embarked on a campaign of military aggression, seeking to establish dominance in the Pacific. The League of Nations, formed in the wake of World War I to prevent future conflicts, proved powerless to stop the slide toward war. The path to war was paved with a series of crises and diplomatic failures. In 1931, Japan, seeking raw materials and driven by expansionist ambitions, invaded Manchuria, a region in northeastern China. This act of aggression was met with condemnation from the League of Nations, but little concrete action. Emboldened by its success, Japan continued its expansionist policies, further escalating tensions in the region. In Europe, Hitler, emboldened by the inaction of the international community, began to openly defy the Treaty of Versailles. He reintroduced conscription, rebuilt Germany's armed forces, and remilitarized the Rhineland, a region bordering France that had been demilitarized under the terms of the treaty. Despite the clear threat posed by Germany's growing military might, Britain and France, fearing another devastating war, adopted a policy of appeasement, hoping to avoid conflict by making concessions to Hitler. This policy of appeasement reached its peak in 1938 with the Munich Agreement. In a desperate attempt to avert war, Britain and France agreed to allow Germany to annex the Sudetenland, a region of Czechoslovakia with a large German-speaking population. Hitler, emboldened by this success, assured the world that the Sudetenland was his last territorial demand in Europe. However, his promises proved worthless, and in March 1939, German troops marched into the rest of Czechoslovakia, dissolving the country and shattering any remaining illusions about Hitler's true intentions. Section 4. A New Dawn Legacy of the War.